Imagine walking across a field, unaware that just meters beneath your feet lie the remains of a civilization that vanished millions of years ago. Not a tribe, not a species of apes with fire, but something industrial, something advanced, something like us. For centuries, we've assumed humans were the first to wield technology, to harness energy, to change the very atmosphere of Earth. But what if that belief is wrong? What if Earth has been reset more than once? And we're just the latest experiment in a long, forgotten cycle. This is the Silurian Hypothesis, and if it's true, it would rewrite everything we know about our place in the universe. Imagine walking across a quiet field, unaware that just meters beneath your feet lie the remains of something truly extraordinary, not bones of ancient animals, not fossils from a forgotten jungle, but remnants of a civilization that once lit up the planet with industry, energy, and technology. For centuries, we've believed humans were the first and only species to develop complex tools, build cities, and alter the environment on a global scale. But what if that belief is wrong? What if Earth has been home to more than one intelligent civilization, and the last one was wiped clean by time, buried so deep in history that we've mistaken their traces for natural anomalies? This is the haunting question behind the Silurian Hypothesis, the idea that we may not be the first advanced species to live on Earth. If it's true, the implications are staggering. It means everything we know about our origins, our history, and even our future could be a lie. Earth's surface is a living archive, layers upon layers of rock that record the rise and fall of oceans, the movement of continents, the death of species, and yes, possibly the echoes of ancient civilizations. Scientists have long studied these layers to understand our planet's past. But recently, some of those layers have started whispering something new, something that doesn't fit the expected pattern. Microscopic spheres of rare metals have been discovered embedded in rock strata millions of years old, spheres that should only be formed during high-temperature industrial processes. The issue? These rocks predate humans by tens of millions of years. So who, or what, created them? To understand how such a thing could even be possible, we need to step back and consider the concept of deep time. Humanity's industrial civilization, from the steam engine to the internet, has only existed for about 300 years. That's nothing. The Earth is over 4.5 billion years old. If you compress the Earth's history into a single day, humans would appear only in the last second before midnight. So even if a past civilization thrived for 10,000 years and vanished completely, their existence would barely leave a blip on the geological radar. And yet, some traces are harder to erase. One of the most persistent fingerprints any industrial civilization leaves behind is carbon. When we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and it has a very specific isotopic signature. This signature is preserved in ice cores, ocean sediments, and tree rings for thousands, even millions, of years. Here's where things get unsettling. Researchers have found that ancient rock layers, dating back tens of millions of years, show carbon isotope anomalies almost identical to what we see today. These anomalies suggest rapid, massive releases of carbon into the atmosphere, the kind you'd expect from widespread industrial activity. But these events occurred long before any human existed. Then there's plastic, our synthetic legacy. Modern plastic doesn't biodegrade. It breaks down into smaller pieces, but chemically, it stays intact for thousands of years. Geologists have already predicted that future species, if any exist, will be able to identify the plastic age in Earth's rock layers. But what if we're not the first? In sediment cores from deep beneath the ocean floor, scientists have discovered polymer-like particles in ancient layers that predate the human era. These fragments share striking similarities with modern plastics, and in some cases, appear even more advanced. Could these materials have been created by a previous civilization with knowledge of chemistry beyond ours? Even more chilling is the evidence buried in radioactive rock. In 1972, in the Oklo region of Gabon, Africa, scientists found uranium ore that appeared to have sustained nuclear fission, just like a modern-day reactor. At first, it was hailed as a natural phenomenon. But then, more anomalies appeared. In Kazakhstan, uranium deposits showed isotope ratios eerily similar to the ones left behind by modern nuclear detonations. The kicker? These rocks are over 50 million years old. Across 6 continents, geologists have found similar isotopic fingerprints, concentrated pockets of radiation, far too systematic to be the result of nature alone. If these signatures aren't from natural processes, then they point to something unthinkable: global-scale nuclear activity in a time when humans didn't exist. And the evidence doesn't stop at rocks. Ice cores, frozen time machines, contain atmospheric records stretching back nearly a million years. Within these frozen archives are chemical spikes, sudden, unnatural increases in greenhouse gases like CO and methane. These gas surges mirror what we're seeing today from industrial emissions. But some of these spikes occurred hundreds of thousands of years ago. How do we explain this? Natural climate change is slow, gradual. But these spikes were fast, systematic, engineered. Some ice layers even contain traces of synthetic compounds, chemicals that don't occur in nature and would have required advanced chemical manufacturing to produce. And then there's the fossil record, a story told through stone, but filled with blank pages. Life on Earth should have evolved gradually, step by step, over billions of years. Yet, we see sudden leaps, moments when complex life seems to appear out of nowhere. The Cambrian explosion, for example, introduced complex organisms into the fossil record almost instantly in geological terms. Before it, Earth was ruled by simple, single-celled life. Then, within a geological blink, the oceans were teeming with creatures that had eyes, limbs, armor, and intelligence. Was this a natural evolutionary leap? Or did something or someone intervene? There are other mysteries, too: mass extinctions that happened with chilling precision, wiping out life selectively, sometimes with what looks like surgical efficiency. After each extinction, new species emerged, seemingly ready to fill the void, perfectly adapted to the new environment, as if prepared in advance. Could this be nature's way of resetting life? Or something else entirely? All of these anomalies, the synthetic particles, the unexplained carbon spikes, the nuclear signatures, the fossil gaps, could be dismissed individually. But when viewed together, they paint a pattern. A chilling, repeating cycle. Civilizations rise. They industrialize. They alter the planet. Then they vanish, leaving behind whispers in stone, air, and ice. The Silurian Hypothesis doesn't claim there were ancient alien empires or futuristic dinosaurs. It asks something far simpler and far more terrifying. Is it possible we're not the first? If so, then the implications for us, today, are immense. Because if they existed, where did they go? Did they collapse from war? Climate? Hubris? Did they burn through the planet's resources until nothing remained? Or did they reach a level of technological power that led to their own destruction? And are we now following the same path? But this is just the beginning. The deeper you dig, the more impossible truths begin to surface. In Part 2, we'll go further into strange materials found under the Antarctic ice, into atmospheric modifications that hint at planetary engineering, and even into genetic evidence that suggests humanity might not be entirely alone in its DNA. The question isn't just, were we the first? The real question is, will we be the last?